The existence of England is something we take for granted today. Hardly anyone questions how this land actually came into being. We often think of England as part of Great Britain or the United Kingdom, but before these unions could exist, England itself first had to be formed. And that officially happened in the year 927. But how did it get there? Who lived on the island before the English? And what wars, conquests, and coincidences led to the birth of the English kingdom? To answer this, we need to go back to the time when the Romans controlled Britain. For more than 400 years, Britannia was a province of the Roman Empire. Roads, cities, trade, much of what we consider civilization today was introduced back then. But around the year 410, the Romans withdrew. The empire had become too weak to defend faraway provinces. Suddenly, Britain was left to itself. A power vacuum opened. In this situation, the native Britons turned to foreign warriors, the Anglo-Saxons, Germanic tribes from across the sea. At first, they were invited to help defend against attacks from the Picts in the north and the Irish in the west. But very soon, these newcomers realized that Britain itself was a rich and desirable land. Instead of leaving, they began conquering. By the 7th century, the Anglo-Saxons had established 7 major kingdoms: Essex, Kent, Sussex, Mercia, East Anglia, Northumbria, and Wessex. This period is often called the Heptarchy. Each kingdom had its own rulers, traditions, and constant rivalries. A united England was still far away, but the foundation was laid. Then came a new wave of danger: the Vikings. In 793, Scandinavian raiders attacked the monastery at Lindisfarne. The brutality of this raid shocked the Anglo-Saxon world, and it was only the beginning. In the decades that followed, the Danes conquered large parts of England. East Anglia fell in 870, Mercia a few years later, and then Northumbria. Only one kingdom remained free: Wessex. Here ruled Alfred, later known as Alfred the Great. At first, he tried to buy peace by paying the Vikings. But eventually, he raised an army and fought them in open battle. At the Battle of Æthelstan, Alfred won a decisive victory and saved Wessex from conquest. This battle not only protected his people, it kept alive the possibility of one day uniting England. After Alfred's death, his son Edward the Elder took the throne, supported by his sister Æthelflaed, the Lady of the Mercians. Together they pushed back the Vikings step by step. Æthelflaed expanded into the north, while Edward secured East Anglia. Slowly, the Anglo-Saxons reclaimed their lands. Edward's son, Æthelstan, would take this even further. He captured York, bringing Northumbria under his control. For the first time in history, all of England was united under one ruler. Æthelstan is therefore often called the first true king of England. But Æthelstan was not satisfied. In 937, he led his army north against Scotland and its allies. The result was the legendary Battle of Brunanburh, where the English fought against a coalition of Scots, Vikings from Dublin, and the Kingdom of Strathclyde. The clash was enormous and incredibly bloody. In the end, Æthelstan and the English were victorious. Many historians believe that this battle awakened a true sense of English identity, a new national pride. Yet England's stability was still fragile. After Æthelstan's death, the balance of power shifted quickly. The Vikings, who had only recently been defeated, saw their chance to strike again and soon returned to England's shores. They captured important territories in the north, including parts of Northumbria, and threatened once more to undo everything the Anglo-Saxons had fought for. Under King Edmund, however, the English responded with determination. He launched campaigns to push back the invaders, regaining towns and fortresses one by one, proving that the young kingdom could defend itself. The following decades were a time of constant uncertainty. Control over key regions changed hands multiple times, and alliances shifted between local rulers and foreign challengers. Figures like Eric Bloodaxe, the fierce Norwegian king, repeatedly tried to claim Northumbria, using both force and negotiation to strengthen their rule. But despite these dramatic struggles, the English crown ultimately succeeded in securing the territory once and for all, showing that the kingdom had the strength to survive repeated crises. Real stability arrived only under King Edgar, known to history as Edgar the Peaceful. He came to power in 959 and ruled until 975, almost 20 years, a long reign for that turbulent era. His nickname was not an exaggeration. Unlike his predecessors, Edgar was not defined by endless wars, but by his ability to maintain peace throughout his realm. During his time as king, England experienced a rare period of calm, which allowed society to develop in new ways. Edgar introduced legal reforms, unified many of the laws across different regions, and built a stronger administrative system to govern his lands more effectively. He was also pragmatic. Instead of erasing every trace of Viking influence, he wisely kept some Danish customs and legal practices, which helped keep the Danish population loyal and avoided new rebellions. For the first time, England was more than just a collection of conquered kingdoms. It had become a truly united realm with shared structures, clearer rules, and a growing sense of identity as one people. The formation of England was not the achievement of a single ruler or a single battle, but the outcome of centuries of struggle. It began with the Anglo-Saxons settling the land after the Roman withdrawal, when scattered tribes and small kingdoms slowly formed the early shape of the nation. It continued with the devastating Viking invasions, when whole regions fell under foreign control and the survival of Anglo-Saxon rule seemed doubtful. Step by step, however, leaders like Alfred the Great, Edward the Elder, Æthelstan, and later Edgar the Peaceful reclaimed lost ground, rebuilt institutions, and set the stage for something larger than any single kingdom. Every phase brought new victories, but also painful defeats, reminding the English that unity required constant effort and resilience. By the time these rulers had finished their work, England stood united under one crown, stronger and more organized than ever before. England's birth was therefore a long and turbulent process, shaped by both war and diplomacy. It was forged through centuries of conflict, but also stabilized by moments of peace, reform, and wise leadership. The constant struggles, the invasions, the reconquests, the shifting borders gave the kingdom an identity rooted in perseverance. And perhaps it is exactly this difficult path that provided the foundation for England's lasting strength and influence. Without those challenges, the England we know today, and later the rise of Great Britain on the world stage, might never have been possible.